kind of do wish that we could do the last bit of press after the show is
Right.
out.
I know.
We could actually talk about all the things that, people are going to want to talk about once the show's done. There's a lot to talk about.
That's Joe Keery on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast before the Stranger Things series finale dropped, which simultaneously streamed on Netflix and was shown in movie theaters. Among those moments that people are now talking about is the one that by all counts got the most vocal reaction from the large crowds that watched it together inside movie theaters. Yeah, in a series full of fan faves, audiences freaked out when they thought they lost Steve. And those 6.7 seconds of blackness were agony for viewers. Now, Joey's yet to talk about it, but the Duffer brothers are. In an interview published by Netflix, Matt Duffer says, "It wasn't designed to torture fans who were terrified that Steve was going to die. I've never really understood why they're so worried about Steve dying." Well, you just showed his hand losing grip on the one thing that was keeping him from falling hundreds of feet to his death. Yeah. But yeah, then, after those 6.7 seconds of blackness, we saw that Steve was still alive. Someone had grabbed his hand, and it was a slow pan up to reveal who it was. Matt says, "We wanted the least likely person to save Steve." Well, I think it's safe to say that, yeah, viewers were very surprised. Matt says, really, it was about Steve and Jonathan coming together, and that's why that moment is there. We wanted these two to find common ground by the end of the series, and it leads to that conversation they have in the abyss, where they can finally open up with their feelings and their conflict as it relates to Nancy.
Look, just because I don't like you doesn't mean I want you dead.
Ross says, "We needed to make sure that by the time we got to the final battle, all conflicts were resolved because they really needed to work together as a team. Steve and Jonathan were the last remaining source of tension within the group, so we realized we had to resolve that before they were able to defeat Vicna and the Mind Flayer. And yeah, having Jonathan save Steve's life is a pretty effective and efficient way to get those characters to turn the page."
I don't blame you, by the way, for not liking me. You know, can be a real prick sometimes.
Matt also says, "Joe and Charlie in real life are very close, and we wanted to tap into that bromance and have that reflected on screen in some way."
But the truth is, our problems had nothing to do with you.
So yeah, I'd say those 6.7 seconds of agony were worth it in the end. But yeah, what was running through your head in that moment where we thought we lost Steve in the Stranger Things series finale?